Firstly, it's important to know what women value. A lot of men have a lot of misconceptions here, so let's clear those misconceptions up. Provider value. This is the kind of value that mainstream society usually pushes on men, and the kind of value that most men compete for. Provider value is how a man shows a woman that he will be a good provider, and will take great care of her and, implicitly, the children that they have together. He is telling her he'll be a good choice for long-term relationships. Providers are long-term focused. A man's provider value is determined by a woman through assessing how he performs in the following: attention to her money/resources available, money/resources spent on her, devotion and loyalty to her, reliability and dependability. He'll be there when he says he will, and when she needs him, cautious, with the ability to protect her and make her feel safe. Many of the popular songs on the radio are about this kind of value. When you hear men telling women that they'll always be there for them, will never leave them, will never cheat on them, will give them the world, etc., that's their way of communicating that they'd make great providers. The guys who aim to be a woman's Prince Charming or Mr. Right are typically most focused on highlighting their provider value. Lover value is the variety of values that fewer men compete on, basically centering on being sexually attractive and fulfilling women's sexual fantasies. Lovers are short-term focused. Mainstream society has two big misconceptions about men who possess mostly lover value. Those misconceptions are: 1. Women don't actually want men who are short-term focused. Women all only want relationships, and only end up with short-term focused men if those men trick them. 2. Women get hurt by men who become intimate with them without giving them long-term relationships. Let's set the record straight. Women do want men with lover value. In fact, women are more sexually attracted to these men than to the providers. Why? Men who are short-term lovers usually subconsciously communicate that they are breeders, guys with good genes who are desired by many women and have lots of options. Women base much of their attraction to men based on the opinions of other women. Men who are unsuccessful with women tend to be timid, unconfident, and needy toward women, and women subsequently avoid them and refer to them with terms like creepy or sweet, depending on the man's disposition. If, however, a woman suspects a man has multiple options, as judged by his confidence, fundamentals, and other aspects, her desire to mate with him rises. From an evolutionary perspective, women want to have sons who will mate with many women and pass on their genes, so they want the father of their sons to be a man who could mate with many women, and they tend to be most attracted to men who trigger this impression in them. Because of that, when it comes to sexual attraction, women respond best to subtle traits from the list below. That's the long explanation. The short one is that women desire desirable men. A man's lover value is assessed by women by looking at the following traits: he dates around or has lots of women and female friends in his life. He is not needy and is comfortable with women, not desperate to mate, like men without women in their lives tend to be. He challenges women and is selective/picky about the women he dates. He displays positive feelings and has constructive interactions with women, opposed to the many men with bitterness toward women, which communicates a history of rejection by the opposite sex. He's busy, implying that he has other things he must attend to, and perhaps other women he must attend to. He is passionate, adventurous, and spontaneous. When a woman ends up in a long-term relationship with a man with high lover value, she tends to be frequently frustrated with his inability to meet all of her needs as a provider, while subsequently is infatuated with his many qualities as a lover. Listen to female singers on the radio. Few of their songs are about providers, talking about how their men take such good care of them and are always there for them. No, the vast majority of popular songs women sing on the radio are about lovers, talking about how they shouldn't feel this way about him, or about how they can't get him out of their heads, or how they can't figure him out. Women obsess over men with high lover value. Because some of the traits of lovers and providers are mutually exclusive, e.g., a provider value is to pledge total devotion and loyalty, while a lover value is to have other women and other options. It's impossible to completely cover both. However, what every woman out there wants, ultimately, is a man who can satisfy both sides of the coin. When it comes to the man she's going to settle down with, Women tend to fantasize about a man with incredible lover value, a passionate, adventurous man all the other girls want that only she is able to tame. If you ever read a romance novel, the female equivalent to men's pornography, you see the same trend over and over again. While we're focusing more on the nuts and bolts of romancing and engaging and becoming intimate with women than on the nuts and bolts of running relationships in this book, I'll advise here that if you want to keep a woman happy long term, you must retain enough of your lover value that she still sees you as sexually exciting and a challenge. If you do what most men do and relinquish all lover value in exchange for provider value to try and hold onto a woman, you can bet that sooner or later a man with high lover value will come along and get her excited and make her want to mate. This occurs when the man she's grown used to has depreciated in lover value. Just look at how often people who've been married for 5 years make love, and you'll see it, not very often, most of the time. When it comes to mating, the men women are looking for, the ones they chase, are the lovers.